important concept, which is a constructor. Okay, today we are going to see about constructor. Write down headline: constructor. What is meant by constructor? So we usually have seen public, class, test, and in that what we was doing, we was writing int a equal to 10, and there will be our method public void display. Okay, void display. This was our method. So we was creating a reference variable. Okay, reference variable. This variable was a reference variable. Okay, this variable was a reference variable or global variable. Global variable means like the variable which created outside method and inside class. So there are four names, like a reference variable, global variable, and some people call as a object level of variable. So global variable, and some people call instance variable. Okay, instance variable. We call it as a sometimes field also we call it as. Okay, now I have created this, but what happens, I just declared. Okay, declared this process contains a two field. Okay, one is int a equal to 10. This is called as a declaration, and equal to 10 this called as a initialization. So what happens, I just have only int a equal to int a. So where exactly, like I have not assigned anything. Okay, what will be the value? Okay, now let's write this program and check. Okay, com dot constructor test constructor. Okay, test constructor. So we have seen that, like, let's create our main method. Okay, main method, and here int a. Okay, I have declared just a. I have not assigned any value. This any value. So in this, if I want to print a, can I able to print a? No. Why? This is a non-static field, or you can call it an instance. Okay, instance create kela, and using this instance I am going to access this field. Okay, I am going to access this field. So this field is called as the object level. Now if I want to run this, it is showing a 0. So if you have seen that, like, man, I have not assigned any value, but still it is showing 0 value. Where exactly it is happening? So that is happening in your constructor. What is that constructor? Constructor is a new. Okay, so we are able to, like, that is happening inside a constructor. What is constructor? Constructor is a special method. Okay, constructor is a special method, but which returns nothing. Okay, this is a method, this is a constructor. Okay, constructor is a special method, okay, which has a name equal to your class name. Okay, which has a name equal to class name, but don't have any return method. If we write any method, okay, public void display. So this is our method. Okay, or write down a same name. Okay, this is my method. Okay, but this method contains return type. What is my return type? Void. Void means I am not returning anything. If I made it as int, that means I am returning int value. Okay, but in constructor we are not returning anything. We are not returning anything. So in this block, we are not able to see, but in this block this value is getting assigned. If nothing value is assigned, then it will assign a default value. It will not visible you, but internally it will assign a default value. And for int, what is the default value? For int, 0 is the default value. Let's create a float instead of c, uh, float c. Let's run this and check. Okay, float 0 is the default value. So who is assigning that value? This constructor is assigning value. Let's assign a different value. How you will assign a different value? A is my variable name, and to this variable name I am assigning a 10 value. Okay, float c is my value, and to this I am assigning a 10.10. This is my float value. Float, if it is float, that means you have to append f add करना लगता है. Okay, so whenever you are creating constructor, this, if you click on this, it will go to this method. Okay, so why it is a constructor? When you are using a new keyword and calling that a special method which don't have a return type and have a same name as compared same name as your class, this is called as a constructor. Okay, got it, guys? And in constructor we are assigning value to our global variables. Okay, global variables, the object which are at a class level. Okay, now if I run this, let's see the result, what is happening. Okay, now this is happening, like for instance variable, the same result is going to be applied. Okay, same result going to be applied. Now this is my instance 1. If I create instance 2, what will happen? Instance 2, and I am going to run this method. Okay, same class चा instance आपण काय केला, create केला. So this is again printing same value because you are assigning the same value for this constructor. Whenever this method or whenever this constructor call, same value will be assigned. Okay, if you want to, what will happen? What will happen if I don't have a like constructor, and if you are not creating any, you are not assigning any different value to your field, then it will be like there will be a constructor, and that constructor is called as a default constructor, and that default constructor will assign default value to all your fields, all your global variables. But if you want to assign, or if you want to assign specific values, then you have to create a constructor. Okay, now we have seen that like we created a instance 1, we created a instance 2, but for those it is printing same value. What happens, like I don't want to print the values, let's create a student class. For student class, if I created 2 student, second student, same will be happening. Okay, but I want to create that specific. Okay, for every student there will be new object, and that object will be containing the student information, that I will going to show you. Okay, let's create a student. You are going to create a student application, एक screen असेल, and in that screen there will be one screen, and in that screen you are entering some information, and that information you are storing in your database. Database we are going to see in our next lecture, but database is one thing which will store your digital data. Okay, keep in mind. Now I have a student class. Let's create some fields. Okay, what fields I can create? I can create a string first name. Okay, string second name, then string I want to store address, then int age I am taking, then what we can take, int pin code I am taking, as like what else we can give here. These are the information. Now I want to show this information. Okay, that's why I have a public. Why I'm making it class, sorry, this method as a public. So this method should call from anywhere within package, within same package, or outside this package. I should able to call this method. So that's why I am calling public void display display, and here I am writing sysout. Okay, in sysout I am writing a first name, write it, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Okay, so I am writing second name, then I am writing address, then I am writing age, pin code. Okay, okay. So in this class, are you able to see any constructor? No, but there will be a constructor. Okay, default constructor will be there, and that will not exist here. Okay, this is like a bhuta. Okay, so this will be here only. Now, how we will get to know that like this default constructor is here? If you print this value, you will able to see the default value. That means there is one constructor who is assigning value to this function. Okay. Now I have created. I want to create a one application which is a school app. Okay, school app. Now in this application, what I am going to create, like what I am doing, like I have main method, and in this main method I am importing my class student. Okay, s1 equal to new student. So I am going to create a student class. Now for student, let's say Nilesh. Okay, I am going to give name a Nilesh, variable name Nilesh. Okay, so what is the value for Nilesh? If I try to print, sorry, if I want to call, let's call the display method. Correct? We have a display method of the Nilesh. Okay, in student class we are going to create one student class is a template. Okay, from that template you can create as many as object. Okay, Manvita. Okay, Manvita is my second student, so I am going to call display method of Manvita. Okay, so if I run this program, what will happen? Okay, to separate out I am just printing this. Okay, thanks, that we will get to know. Okay, it is assigning all the default value. What is mean by null? Okay, if you have any class apart from a, if you have any data type apart from a primitive data type, for all those data types or all those class, default value is a null. Okay, due to that, this, if you go here inside this display, the first name, last name, address, all these are a string data type. Okay, string class. Okay, and due to these are the string class, they have a default value as a null. Okay, for, and if you observe, I am printing all the default value for Manvita and Nilesh. Let's create a constructor. Okay, let's create a constructor. I want to override that value. I want to override means change. Okay, I want to override that value with our new names. Okay, let's create a first name equal to, first name is equal to student, then second name, okay, equal to second name, then address equal to, let's say address. Okay, then age equal to, let's say 28, and pin code is equal to 413412. Okay, so these are the values I am assigning to my object. Okay, now what happens if I call a school app? Okay, if I call a school app, and from school app I am calling this method. So if you see, for every object, same value has been changed, same value has been printed. But I don't want this. I want a Nilesh has a separate value and Manita has a separate value. And to make that, you have to pass some value to this class. Correct? This class is somewhere else. Okay, this class is sitting in this package, and I am calling from this class. So there should be some way to insert those values to that class character. So that value is called a, that way is called as a parameterized constructor. For us, we will be requiring more than one parameter, and those are here. Okay, so let's write a one parameter. Okay, so string, you have, when you are taking any parameter, you have to tell what type of parameter you are taking. Let's say input first. Okay, this is my first name. Then I am taking string input second. You can name it whatever you want. Okay, for me, I feel this is a good name, that's why I am writing good name. If you want other name, you can write other name also. Okay, now let's create a string input address. Let's create int input age. Let's create int input pin code. Okay, input pin code. So I have taken these many inputs from my constructor. Okay, constructor means when I creating this object, I need to give this information must. Okay, instead of this hard code, I am going to write a this name, input name, input address, input age, input code. Okay, so I have taken all these information from my constructor. So there is my school app. School app is telling that, boss, you have to give the parameter. You have created constructor, but there is no default constructor. There is a parameterized constructor. So for that you have to give the input. So let's give the input. Okay, input you can give like this also, string first name equal to Nilesh, string second name equal to Ninja. Okay, then string address I am going to give as a Pune, enter age I am giving 25. Then what else is there? Enter pin code. Pin code I am giving as a 4410727. Okay, so this information I have created here. Okay, and I want to pass this here one by one. I have passed first name, then I am passing second name, then I am passing address, then I am passing age, then I am passing pin code. Okay, so we have passed these values. Okay, and in display we were going to show these values. Now for Manvita, I can assign, instead of creating this value and then passing, I can assign, I can pass directly also. What is this? Like I am passing Manvita, then I am passing second name as a coder, then I am passing address as a Pune, then I am passing age as a 25. Let's pass a code which is 1127. Okay, so now here we are passing the values, and that will automatically convert it into that given format. Okay, if you are passing a string and in student it is mentioned as a string, then it will take this value and assign. But if you are expecting a string and if you are passing other value, it will throw the error that we are going to see. Now we have created two objects, one is a Nilesh and one is a Manvita, and all these objects we have passed different values. Okay, now if I want to run this program, we are able to see we are getting a different value for our program character. for our program. So in this display method, what we are printing? We are printing all the non-static values in a non-static method. Okay, we are not having a static here, we are not having static in method, so that's why we are calling, we are showing a non-static field in a non-static method. Okay, so because when you will start coding on our application, you guys will able to see the various classes. Student class will be separate, then that student class we are going to import in other class, and we are calling the method. That means we are using object of student class in another class object. So Java is a object oriented language.